Now I'm going to drop a bombshell here, which I already dropped actually last week. I've got a friend who works at Wall Street. I had a conversation with him. We had two conversations now, very lengthy conversations. In the first conversation, we were talking about cryptocurrencies, and obviously he invests in Apple and all these big stocks. And he said to me, look, we need to get on a private call where we have a secure call. I want to talk to you about certain things. So we jumped up on a private call. He was telling me, and this is the bombshell, I want you to understand this, guys. Wall Street, the entire Wall Street is buying up cryptocurrencies bit by bit, slowly, so slow that you can't really see it moving the market. But every day they're doing it. What they want to do, they don't want to spook the market and make prices jump. So what they do, they spend 10, 20, 100,000. I don't know how much. We didn't go into that. But they are buying cryptocurrencies. And his words to me, his exact words was, they are buying up every single major cryptocurrency. Then I said to him, what is a major cryptocurrency? And he said, the major coins that they are buying is Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and a few others. So guys, it's happening. Wall Street is buying it. Think about this now for a second here. Apple is worth $1 trillion, but the cryptocurrency market, the market cap, is worth about 300 billion. It's a third of what Apple is. Now, JP Morgan has got access, from what I hear, to $7.2 trillion worth of money. They can literally buy up the entire crypto market, and then they own it all. But then the money won't go anywhere. The markets won't move. Because what makes markets move is you and me buying. The uninformed investor that buys the spike. The uninformed investor that sells the bottom. That is what makes the market move. And what I'm going to show you here today is nothing different than what I showed you actually about a week or 2 weeks ago. If we look at the Apple chart here, just want to make sure we are recording here. If we look at the Apple chart here, you can see that we created the AMTR, which we call an algorithm major trend reversal, or just a major trend reversal. You find that in your Wyckoff theory, if you go and read Wyckoff, not 100% correct, but more or less. And you can probably argue that what you see here is kind of like a Wyckoff as well. And let me just draw that. Many of you that are familiar with Wyckoff, you know, it would create some pattern like this. You have your spring down here, and you have your pattern that goes upwards. It comes there. But then what happens is it doesn't go up. It drops. Okay? So in general terms, now remember this, 3 years ago when we started, we were the first people in the entire cryptocurrency world that identified the Wyckoff pattern in cryptocurrencies. I identified that through our algorithm. Now, incidentally, now everybody's using it. And you are going to find that the Wyckoff pattern keeps repeating itself in some modular form. And we just this week discovered how they use the Wyckoff pattern in 7 different ways. Really remarkable. And this is why I say, guys, that we are going to come to this high point here, that high point, and the market is going to drop like a rock. Okay, it's not going to go up here. So let me just clear the screen here. Now, this Apple chart is what I use in our algorithm data. And please, guys, if you are part of our team, many of you guys know now, or some of you actually know that I've signed the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement. You know how the pattern works. Don't divulge the information on social media. You keep it private. But in the future, in the not so far future, we are going to make a lot of that data available, because we have about 2 to 3 years to make insane money. Then the market is going to get extremely, extremely complicated. You will have to have this data that we have going forward, but we are one step ahead. We've already got new data that we are working on that we will then show you. You will have to have our algorithm data, which we'll make available, and you'll have to have our data. But what we will do is we will provide you the charts and we'll provide you the guideline. Then it's up to you to use that data and trade. These big swings that we're going to see now, big ups, big downs, they won't happen in 2 or 3 years from now. As a matter of fact, remember, have a look at the granular cycle that we did. Go back and have a look at those videos. You may have copied it, downloaded it, go to YouTube, you can find it there. Those granular cycles gives you the direction of the market. But what I'm saying is there's a big move coming. It will be one of the last moves in the crypto world. Not to say that we won't make money, but I'm going to get into things here quickly and give you a long-term view. If you take the Apple chart and you take gold and silver, and if you have a software that can combine it. Now remember, there's no software that can do it. We had to write the software. And there's some other charts that we use as well. So we create these intellectual points where the market moves up to a high point and then to a low point. If you've identified all those points, now remember there's 365 days in a year. It can take one person to identify the target points. If you alone work on that and you break it up in a 15-minute block and you identify every single low and high, it will take you about 6 months, one person to do it. So you can imagine when I started with Bitcoin, I started working on 12-hour charts to do it fast. Then I went to 6 hours. We're now redoing all the algorithm data where we're doing it on a 5-minute chart. So it takes a long time to do it. We import that data into an algorithm and it kicks us out certain patterns that the algorithm identify. So it would go over a span of 10 years and look at Bitcoin, for example, and say, where is the same pattern that repeats itself? And it may find 17. And then we find the next patterns and we may find 23. And there are 17 different patterns. No, there are, 17 or 18. I can't remember exactly now. But there are patterns that repeat itself inside a wake-off phase. This is why I say the people that think that Bitcoin wasn't created by somebody, you really have to go and think again. There's a certain pattern that Bitcoin will follow regardless, and it's going to play out. Regardless if we have drops, regardless if the market goes down slightly or more, and regardless if it breaks out or gets manipulated. The only thing that we realize now, what they use to manipulate markets big time, is time. Time. They extrapolate and pull that pattern out. Time. It's kind of like if I condense this. Now look at my screen here now. If I pull this pattern out, this is exactly what they do. Where that just becomes wide. Where this may have taken about, let's say, 30 days, now suddenly the whole move from A to R will take 3 months. And then you get a very slow movement of a pattern. But eventually, look at this, the pattern still plays out. The pattern isn't broken. So I want you to understand that, and this is more for people that get negative, that get a little bit agitated. Remember this, there are 3 things that these people use to get you to sell your cryptos. Guess what? Wall Street is buying it up. And guess what? Wall Street did the same with Apple, guys. I've told you many times that year in 2000, I think it was somewhere year 1999, I sold my Apple shares for just under $1. Now, I also owned the largest computer store in New Zealand, which was called at that time the Technology Center. Many of you probably don't know this. You can go and check it out. It's still there today. It was the largest privately owned computer store in New Zealand called the Technology Center. You can go to technologycenter.com. The store is now owned by somebody else. I sold it in 2000 and I think 6 or 7. That's when I sold it. It was a big store. Now it's a little bit smaller. But it was the only computer store in the world that had a Microsoft section as well as an Apple store. And remember, Apple doesn't allow you to do that. So we had the Apple rights in Tauranga, New Zealand, the Bay of Plenty. That's where I lived at that point. So, so I know a fair amount, and this is why I've also got in Apple. But in 1999, I sold my shares for under $1. Guess what? The market went up. Then, because there was a lot of fear, the market then dropped like a rock. Okay? At this point, guess who bought it up? The same people who have my shares now, Wall Street. And guess what the market did? Look at this. It went from $1, $6. Look at this. $10, $14, $20. You can go on, and look at this, guys. This is what's going to happen with cryptos. You've heard it here first. You've been warned. This is what's going to happen. The reason I show you this, look at this, $60, $80, $100, 150. Look at that, crazy. Where are we now? And remember, this stock has split in half. So that figure that you see here, 260, is actually a lot higher. They split stocks when they go close to $1,000. So this one now, 268. Crazy, crazy stuff. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because a lot of people email me and they say, but listen, Maurice, you said that the 1,000% rise is coming. It's not happening. Your data is wrong. Uh, you know, um, I can't attend these webinars. One guy said to me, I can't attend these webinars because every week it's the same information. Yes, that's right. Every week it's the same data because we are just moving slowly, very, very slowly. And guys, I tell you now, as sure as I am here, if I was patient here when I sold my Apple shares for $1, I would have made insane money. All you need to do is just to be patient. Wendy and I made a huge amount of money in cryptos. In 2017, when we bought that spike, now remember this, if you go back to Bitcoin and you look at 2017, a lot of people look at that and they go like, wow, you made insane money. Let me tell you this, we waited for days and months because if you look at the chart in Bitcoin over 2017, it actually happened over 2016 and 17. We didn't wait 90 days for the market to move. We waited 9 months. For 9 months, the market didn't move, but we bought and bought and bought because we knew I need to own more cryptos. Every single crypto, every $10 that I buy Litecoin is going to make me insane money. And I put it in there every day. And bang, the market spiked up and the rest is history. And we became financially free. You will become financially free. I tell you this now, you will. What you see here in Apple, more or less, is going to happen in cryptos as well. And I'm giving a bit of information away here. But what we do here at Bitcoin Trend and Forecast, we combine Apple, Microsoft, gold, and a few other charts, and we get these patterns. Now, what I'm going to do is to show you again, just for the new people that are here. You will see that here we created a low point there, a low point at M, a low point at T, and another low point at R. And it doesn't matter if this low point is very close to each other or if it's far away. The point is we created a trend reversal. Now, there is a certain term for this trend reversal, which actually forms kind of like a W. And remember here in the beginning of the year, I had to look at some old videos yesterday, and I found a video on 18 December 2018, almost exactly a year ago. And many of you guys, I think, Mike, you will remember this because I can remember we had a conversation about this where we said that when you're on the bottom, it creates a W. Okay? Remember that W. And then I said, we can have a wake off downwards, and then the market goes upwards. And we are now in the crypto world exactly at that W. The W is a major trend reversal, and the W can come down again and again. But the point is it creates that W, and ultimately it just makes a larger W. Now, if you look at this AMTR and we look at, let's say, Bitcoin, for example, you're going to see the same sign here, the AMTR. And it doesn't matter if these two, see how those two are very close to each other? Okay, so that is okay as well. It created, some people will say it's a triple bottom, a double bottom, or a 4 times bottom. It doesn't matter, but the point is here, it created that downwards trend, and now the market is going to move upwards. Now remember, I'm here on the 4-hour chart here, and I'm here on Bitcoin on Bitstamp. Okay, so what is coming next? Remember last week or the week before when we came out with this, we put the arrow there and we said that point there, in our opinion, is the low point, and the market is sure to move up. Now, one thing that I just want to say, remember this year, the 24 September 2019, that is, or 26 September, that is the low point in most to all of cryptos. We calculated yesterday and we came to the effect that about 60% of cryptos have not gone lower than that point there of 26 September 2019. Your majority or major coins like Bitcoin, I don't think Ethereum did, I don't think Bitcoin Cash did too, but your major coins like Litecoin did go lower. So it went lower there and it went lower there. The reason is that your leading indicator coins is always bound to go lower and drop. But for example, which one can I use? Let's go to maybe VET. Let's just have a look at VET. Where's 26 September? There you go. Okay. VET, for example, VET, there's your low point in VET. Now, in this specific case, this one did go lower, but it only went lower once, and it didn't. So it's only that one, it's a double bottom, and then it went up. So you can see that not all coins went down and down again. And if you go through all coins, let me just have a look. Sorry, I haven't actually prepared for this. In this case, yeah, Ethereum actually did. So you get your AMTR. So that's down, and we expect to move upwards. But in general terms, if you look at that, about 60% of coins haven't gone lower than that. And you'll find that mostly in your small cap coins. I think Link is the other one that didn't go lower as well. But nonetheless, what we expect now is this move upwards here. We are approximately here. Now, what we are going to see in the market here, guys, is this one here. This is your uptrend, I believe, that is basically turning the market around big time. Remember, how do you move a big ship around, a cruise liner? You make a big circle. You can't just simply turn it around on a dime. It makes a big turn and it turns around. And this is exactly what's happening with the market here. What I'm looking for now, I'm looking for one major spike, just one spike. And then we're going to see 3 more spikes. It's going to be something like this. And then it's going to go to the bottom there, or sorry, the top there. So that is what I'm looking for. Now, this is with regard to Bitcoin. Let's quickly go to Litecoin. Litecoin exactly the same. And you can see that Litecoin now is just starting to make a green candle there. And we're going to, in about 2 hours or an hour from now, we're going to have the next candle going upwards. Now, again, the same, AMTR, algorithm major trend reversal. So when that starts moving upwards, we are going, I'm looking again. Let me just put that in there. I'm looking again for this one move, just a break, a significant break, a bit of a spike. And from there onwards, I'm looking for big spikes up to between 100 and 107. Now I'm going to get into Bitcoin quickly and show you where the high point for Bitcoin is. On this chart here, you can see there's a gray line here on the top. That is an algorithm major trend stop point. That means that for Bitcoin to break through that point there is very difficult. On this side here, you'll see there's another gray line here. That gray line is what we identified in this week. And we said, okay, right, to figure out the time, the date, the time, when will Bitcoin hit the top? Now, remember this, guys, when we came to this point here, about here, we said, now this is 1, 2, 3, 4. For 4 months, starting about here, we said that forget about the date and the time. It doesn't work anymore. We can't tell you where the high point will be or where the low point will be. There's a distortion in the market. But I also said that at one point, the market is going to come right at the date and time will be able to be counted again. We're now starting to head into the phase where we will be able to start counting dates correctly again. Because I see that the slowdown in the market has now stopped and that the market now is starting to move upwards and we can validate dates again. It doesn't mean that we're out of the woods. It doesn't mean that these people won't use date and time to bring the market down. But let me show you what we discovered. Remember here, this big drop here. When we came here, there was a video that we did and said that this is a big selling point where they deliberately broke the market down. You can go back. There's multiple videos done on that. Just go and search for the date, 17 May, and you'll see what happened there. There's exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, and Bitfinex that colluded together, and they started selling Bitcoin to dump the market. What they were hoping at that point is that the market here would have dropped downwards, right down to about 4,000, 3,000, and eventually, remember at that point we said that if the market were to break down there, we can go and test 1867. And that didn't happen. It didn't happen because there's an algorithm pattern that must play out. And this is where that forced selling, it attempted to do it. But what happened when the market started dropping? People like you and me, we saw it. Yes, this is a bargain. Buying Bitcoin at 6,000, buying Bitcoin at 6.2, it's a bargain. So we've started buying it up. And at this moment in the market, the population, the crypto population, the soccer mom, the blue collar worker, you, me, we are stronger than Wall Street. Wall Street, and hear my warning here, Wall Street is trying to buy up every single cryptocurrency they can lay their hands on. Why are they doing it? Because they know the future value of cryptos. They know what's happening in Australia. They know what's happening in West Africa. They know what's happening in South Africa. Guys, South Africa is going crazy with cryptos. Did you know that in South Africa, you will make more money by taking your rand and putting that in any crypto? Because the rand keeps devaluing. It's
Yes.
crazy. In South Africa, Deval, you can actually tell me this. I spoke to Yapi. Yapi, I don't know if you're online here. You are from Namibia. Yapi, are you here? Anyway, Yapi, you can come on if you are here. Yapi, I had a conversation with him in Namibia. He said to me, Marius, I would rather put my money in a stable coin. I said, why? He said, because the rand keeps dropping and the stable coin stays stable.
Very
This
true.
is, yeah. So everybody, this is why the banks, guys, in South Africa are going crazy and why First National Bank in South Africa have blocked cryptos because people are moving all their money out of the banks into stable coins. Why would you ever want to leave your money in a bank? And with the rand devaluing, if you are in South Africa, you want to get into cryptos, even if you move your money into a stable coin. Now remember, disclaimer here. I don't want any lawsuits here. This is not financial advice, okay? Do your own research, talk to your own private investor. I'm just saying this is what I would do. Now, and it's going to come to America, it's Australia, everywhere, all around the world. We are going to see massive inflation here. If you hold cash, your money will become worthless. Guys, you really need to think about it. And if you don't understand it, get on a call with us. We will do these Zoom webinars and we'll explain to you and your teams. My billionaire friend, he gets it. You know, there's now a meeting set up where this guy in Texas wants to get 5 of his multi-millionaire friends together who's not yet in cryptos. And they want me to explain to them about inflation, hyperinflation, devaluing, why they need to get into cryptos. The billionaires are getting it. And they are moving. I've heard it quietly. They're moving into cryptos. Now, with regard to this data, let me explain to you what I see in my algorithm data. Now, again, guys, we are totally unique. If you look at the entire crypto market, and if you do Elliott wave analysis and all these, I don't know, funny things, it looks like the market still has to drop further. Okay, it's a given. I had a look at that. You know, we've got our guys all around the world that does TA, and they also say, listen, from a technical perspective, market should drop. But what I'm going to do here is to show you what we see in our data. That gray line there and this gray line here meets at a certain point, which is 28 December 2019. We are expecting that we are going to have a big breakout here. And this breakout is going to be a once in a lifetime event where this market will go up. Once you see that first spike, when the first spike happens, it's going to take between 5 and 21 days. 28 December being the longest time frame to have the high point, just after Christmas. And by the way, just so you know, we are not breaking for Christmas, although we are going to be on the beach and we can enjoy ourselves here. We will still do these webinars. The schedule will go ahead. If you can attend it, you attend it. If you can't attend it, you simply watch the video. It's very important because I want you to make money and I don't want you to miss the high point. So AJ, I see your hand is up. We'll get you shortly now. So we expect the market to hit into this point here. The first point that I'm going to show you here, exactly with Litecoin. Remember in Litecoin, we've got 3 points. The first point is 100, second 107, then 119, as high as 140. And we'll get into that again. With Bitcoin, exactly the same. It could be that we stop here at $12,300. The reason for that is, guys, is that is a major resistance indicator. But we could also go to 13.8. We don't exactly know where that high point is, but I can tell you there's a high point. The reason we can't say exactly where the high point is because we are going to sit with people that are going to buy the spike. Now, I can't, in my analysis, figure out what you think. Nobody can do it, okay? Not even a shrink. Nobody can do it. So I can't work that into my analysis. I can go on social media and tell you what I think is going to happen. What we believe is going to happen is exactly what happened here. Remember, we called this high point here. When the market was here on the bottom, we said that we're going to spike up to 10.5, and we almost hit our target there. What happened is the reason we said it's going to go to 10.5. Now, initially, it should have only gone to about 9.7, but it spiked up to 10.5, almost $1,000 more. Why? Simple. People buy the spike. What's going to happen here? People are going to buy the spike. When it comes to about 11,000, people are going to see value in Bitcoin. And they're going to say, yes, Bitcoin is now valuable. I need to buy it. But that's the wrong thinking process. You buy it now. Yes, Bitcoin is cheap. It's on the bottom. We need to buy. But guess what? The average person doesn't think like that. They go like, oh no, this is not good. 7,000, it looks like it's going to drop. But that is where you make your money. You buy now because we see a spike coming. And now keep in mind, and I'm making the statement here that our first target is 12.3. We can go up to 13.8, and we can spike as high as between 15 and 16,000. It will be something similar like this, maybe dragged out over a longer period. Because remember what I said, there's going to be 3 distinct spikes long term. Look at it now from a week perspective. The first one, exactly what we did last week, and I'm going to draw that. Pay close attention if you are new. That is the first one, Catapult 1. This will be Catapult 2. And then later on comes Catapult 3. Catapult 3 is going to be the big spike. That's going to be the spike that takes us to 3,000% and more. Digibyte, for example, 43,000%. Okay. Now, Digibyte, remember this will be one of the last coins that will move. I've mentioned that multiple times. Now, so this is with regard to Bitcoin. Let's quickly get into Litecoin here. Litecoin, I believe, is going to stop here at about 107. If we break this $100 mark, we are going to go to 107. Once we break the 107 mark, it's inevitable that the market can go to $119. We could even take out this high point here. Why? Because people will buy the spike. But now I'm going to give you, let me just see, where's that chart here? I think it was in this one here. I'm going to give you an indication of where the high point is going to be. Have a look at this algorithm high point here. If you look at that high point here of 15 May 2019, and you look at this point here of 5 August 2019, those are 2 points that are coming up in our algorithm data. Now, if you go back to the left-hand side of the chart here, I'm going to make this just a little bit small so that you can see what's happening there. There is those points again on 1 December 2017 and then 11 June 2018. Those points are creating a big resistance line, which is the $107 mark. Now, can you see that these patterns, this one is a big pattern. Look at this, it broke up, it broke down. It broke up, it broke down. The market here is going to break up, it's going to break down. Okay, so that is how the market moves. So this point here, the 100 is the first high point. The target point that I am targeting, exactly the same as what we said last week and the week before, is 107. 107 is critical to watch. 100, 107. We could spike up to 119 and we could break this high point. I don't know exactly how high, but I can tell you that there's a spike coming and there's a spike brewing. Let's get into this chart of Litecoin again. Now, I don't like to go too much in the future, but I think you need to see this. When we have this spike going upwards here, wherever that high point is going to be, and remember, we're not just going to leave you, we're going to give you updates every day or every second day on the blog post. Once that first spike happens, we can have 3 major spikes, and we will give you direction where the high point is. When we hit that top, be very careful. Although I show that there's a sharp drop, this drop is actually going to look like this. It's going to drop in one day. In my opinion, from the new data that we are seeing, is that this drops back to almost this black line of Bitcoin, $42. Sorry, Litecoin, $42. It could go up to about 50, round about there. But we show that it flash drops close to that target. It comes back up very quickly, maybe in a day, 2 or 3. It comes back up and it stops here. Then what happens is the market goes sideways, down, up, down, up, down, and it goes upwards, and then we have a breakout here. The bad news is this, and I want you to be aware of that so that there's no fear, anxiety, and depression. Fad. Remember I said that you need to be patient. What we potentially see, and somebody asked me this question about 5 weeks ago, and somebody said, look, when we have this drop, what is your longest view that you see where we could go sideways? And I came out and I said 96 days. Guys, 3 months. When that drop happens, that first flash drop, be prepared that we potentially could go sideways for 3 months. That's the bad news. But bad news always has got good news. The good news is if this happens, we are going to farm for cryptos here like crazy. Remember, when this market starts exploding upwards and we go up 1,000%, you can forget about farming for extra cryptos. You won't be able to turn 100 Litecoin into 200 Litecoin. Why? Because the market will go up and up and up. If you sell, you may actually lose cryptos. Because when you sell here and you sell 100 Litecoin and the market suddenly moves up to maybe 150, now you have to use that same amount of money and buy back into Litecoin, and you're not going to get 100 Litecoin, you're going to get 95 Litecoin. So you want to farm now. The first biggest farming opportunity is if we get into this high point, you want to sell on that high point. You want to come back and buy on the bottom. And we're going to do this repeatedly. There's about 6 or 7 times that we can do it from what we saw. And especially in Litecoin, you can farm Litecoin like crazy. Now, what I also want to mention to you is that what you need to do is to use one coin that you can farm. You can decide to use Bitcoin. You can decide to use Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, whatever coin you use, focus on that one coin. For example, we teach a lot of people and we say to people, take Litecoin, farm with Litecoin, or farm with Bitcoin. If you use Bitcoin, for example, and you trade with, let's say, 2 Bitcoin, once you move the market and you make a 10% gain in terms of your Bitcoin, now you have got 2.2 Bitcoin because you made a 10% gain. Take that 2.2 Bitcoin and convert that 0.2 into Litecoin or into the other coin that you hold that you are not trading. I hope you get my point there. What I personally do, I am farming with Bitcoin and Litecoin because you can't trade. This is personally what I do. My team, they do other stuff. They trade with every single crypto that we have. But for me personally, because I've got a lot of other stuff that I do and I don't want to sit behind a computer all day. What I do is I buy on the bottom in Bitcoin, I sell on the top. For example, if I have 50 Bitcoin and I made 5 extra Bitcoin, I take that 5 Bitcoin and I immediately convert it in either Ethereum or Bitcoin Cash. The same with Litecoin. If I sell an X amount of Litecoin on the top, get it, buy back on the low, I make maybe 5% extra Litecoin. So I constantly increase my crypto holdings in Litecoin. And this is what we need to do. There's going to become a time, and I know, AJ, that you sent me an email, or somebody sent me an email and said that they are very disappointed that the market is not moving, it's dropping. Guys, you need to be thankful that the market is dropping. Whenever this market drops, you can ask Wendy, I'm like so happy in this house. Man, I jump in the pool. and I jump out again. I'm so happy because I come back because why? I farmed and I increased my crypto holdings. I've got a big sign on my computer here. It says here, my goal is to always increase the number of coin holdings. The dollar value is going to take care of it on its own. Don't even worry about where the price of Bitcoin is. You know, if you are worried that Bitcoin is now at, what is it now, 7,426, and you say, oh, I wish it can go to 10,000. You haven't got the right thinking process. What you need to look at, and say, where can I make extra coins? How can I make extra Bitcoin? Where's the high point for Bitcoin at this moment? So where can I sell and where can I come back and buy? Now, that is up to you to decide where you buy and sell. We here provide long-term analysis. What I can say to you is we're going to get to a top here. Don't be greedy. If you sell maybe at 11.9, 11.5, and you come back and buy here in the bottom, let me tell you what I think what's going to happen here with Bitcoin, for example. I see Bitcoin dropping back to $7,000. Okay, imagine if you sell there on the top at 12, 13, or 14,000. You come back and you buy Bitcoin on the low here. And remember, I've said this now. I don't want people to come back and say your analysis is wrong. You didn't tell us to sell. You know, we say it multiple times. We say that's the high point. Okay, anyway, let's move on to quickly Ethereum. Now, guys, don't make things complicated. Very easy. If you want to know where the high point for Ethereum is, what are you going to do? If you want to know where's the high point of, for example, EOS, what are you going to do? Very simple. You look at Litecoin, exactly. I don't know who said that. Was it you, Devalt, or?
It was me, Marius. Jason.
So can you? Yeah, no, it wasn't me.
Yeah, Jason, exactly, Jason. So again, guys, Jason is right. We are only going to look at Litecoin. Don't make things complicated. Very easy. You know, investing in cryptos should be easy, not complicated. You know, I watched over this week. I said, look, I never ever watch these videos on YouTube or barely watch them. And one of the reasons is that I don't want to get influenced by what other people are saying. And you get a lot of free videos. So I looked at this and man, I tell you, within the first 2 minutes, I went like, no way, this is too complicated. And then I went and watched another one. And first minute or two, I went like, no way, yes, this is complicated stuff. I don't even want to know this. Look, we've got these resistance lines here. Those lines is what I show on the chart. They major resistance lines. Look how they're coming down. See there from the top how they're coming down here. See here from the bottom how they're coming up. They're coming to a point here where the band is narrowing. That means that it's going to be easier for Litecoin to break through those indicators. Imagine if you take a rope and you take that rope that's far stretched out, and now you have to go and cut this piece and then come back and cut the one and then walk back and cut the other one. But if you put that rope together in a small area, you take one knife, put it on the table, and you simply cut through it. It's a lot easier. This is exactly what it is, how these bands are narrowing. So that means that when Litecoin starts moving up, and I've said that multiple times, guys, nobody can see this, but it's going to break all these major indicators. It's going to be a once in a lifetime event. It's barely happened in cryptos. But when this happens, this will also be the indicator. Remember the heartbeat in Litecoin? If this happens, I will tell you then for sure that we are going to have the 1,000% rise in price. Now remember, when I say 1,000%, many people have said to me, the 1,000% rise is not happening. Guys, just be patient. It's going to happen. I said on the previous webinar, I said, look, if you turn negative and you say that cryptos aren't working and you haven't got the patience, what's going to happen is there's three things that's going to happen: fear, anxiety, depression. Number 4, sell out, you're gone. You're going to get fearful because you're going to say the market doesn't move. It's because you constantly look at the price of where is the market now. Forget about the dollar value. It's going to take care of it on its own. There's nothing you can do to move the price. So don't worry about it. Just go with the flow. I I seriously tell you now, when I look at this data, the data of hyperinflation coming, guys, it's going to blow the price of cryptos out of the water. You think that 2017 was a big move. You haven't seen anything yet. I see it in my data. Now, what happens is if you constantly focus on that dollar value and you constantly say that our data is wrong and things don't work and everybody else in the world is wrong and I've had enough, and you know, I see people on Twitter that use the F word. F, I'm out of cryptos. F, I should have never got in. You know, and people just get crazy. Now, that is when fear creeps in. When fear creeps in, you have anxiety. When you have anxiety, drink 10 cups of coffee, relax. But when people get anxiety, they then get depressed. What happens then? They sell out at the loss. Why? Because they look at the dollar value. Bitcoin should have been 20,000. It's only 7,000 now. It doesn't matter. All you need to do is to focus on multiplying your crypto holdings. I've said it many times. If you have 10 Litecoin, if you can increase it to 20 Litecoin, to give you that example, if you have 10, okay, if you've got 10 Litecoin, Litecoin is going to go to $3,000. Mathematically, that's where it stops. Actually, a little bit more, 3,000 and something. Mathematically, according to the algorithm, that's when it stops. I can't tell you the date, and I can't tell you it's going to stop in 2021 on 15 August. But the pattern shows that it stops at that point, at that high point. Now, I don't believe it's going to be very far. I believe that we're going to hit a $1,500 Litecoin point here somewhere, probably about October next year. Okay? But if you have 10 Litecoin and you look at the price now, it may be worth 50. So you look at, I've got $500 worth. If you think about this now at the end of the period when it's $3,000 worth, 3,000 times 10, 30,000. Now, if you increase that Litecoin to double, you now have 60,000. If you increase that from 10 to 20 to 40, you've got a lot more. Your goal is to increase your crypto holdings no matter what. Don't worry about the dollar value. And remember, in the beginning of the year, I've said it as well. I said we're not going to look at the dollar value. We want to increase our crypto holdings. And we're going to focus on that over the next, let's say, 30 to 90 days to see if we can identify for you the high points that we sell and buy back on the low. Because when we can double our portfolios, we double our money staggering when the market goes up. Now, just one last point, and then we're going to get into questions, and then AJ will start with you. If you want to know where the high point of Ethereum is, look at when Litecoin hits the high point. When Litecoin goes to 100, 107, and it stops and turns down, all cryptos in the world is going to drop, except two of them. We believe there are two dark horses. One is Bitcoin, and the other one is Bitcoin Cash. Do not be surprised if Bitcoin Cash skyrockets to $600, okay? Don't sell Bitcoin Cash too quick. But what will happen is, nonetheless, you may see that Bitcoin Cash will just outperform. But when Litecoin hits 107 and start turning around, expect all cryptos to turn around. And remember this, Bitcoin Cash will also make 4 moves. We are looking for the first spike. Once we have the first spike, we're going to have 3 big spikes. 1, 2, 3, top. At that at that real top, that's where we are going to sell. Now, again, we're not going to leave you just like that. We're going to give you data that comes to you. Look at the blog posts every single day. And yeah, let's open Bill. I don't know if you guys are here, Bill Nolan. Let me just actually make you Bill co-host.
I'm here, Marius.
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed the last 2 calls. I had some other things I had to do, but I'm back here today.
Wendy says shame.
Ah.
Okay, guys. So AJ, I don't know if you just want to ask a question there. I saw your hand was up. You raised your hand.
Yeah, Marius. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. And sorry, AJ, man. We see your emails coming through, but guys, yes, we just received so many emails. you know, so apologies if we don't get to your emails that quick. We just can't answer all of them. We've got staff and yes.
No problem. I get all the answers actually, so there is no
Okay.
issue. So my question is, Marius, like how Bitcoin price is directly, or Litecoin price or cryptocurrency prices are related with the impeachment of Trump. I mean, what is how they are impacting to this cryptocurrency market?
Okay, that's a great question. Now, to answer that is we don't really know how it actually correlates, but what we have found is that in the past, it does correlate. So what has happened, what happens is, okay, let's quickly go back here to this low point here. Okay, remember here directly at this point here, this was about, sure, I don't know, when was that? About here, right there, about 20 December. Now, oh, there it is, the 40 days, we've spoken about it. See that 40 days there? This is when the American shutdown happened and the market went totally down. This should have never happened. The market should have actually broken out here and gone upwards. This is the first time when we discovered that there is a downturn in the market because of what happens in the political arena. Now, when we had a look at this here, the 24 September low point here, which was that point actually there. Now, this drop occurred. See this drop here, AJ? When the impeachment hearing started, let's actually go here, and I'll do that again. As soon as that impeachment hearing, I'm just typing it randomly in. When did impeachment start?
It started 74 days ago.
There it is, yeah, on September 24, see there? The formal impeachment inquiry was launched on 24 September 2019. Now let's go back here. Where is that date? There it is. See there, AJ? Exactly at that point there, the market started dropping. Now the day before, the market started dropping. Now remember this, we came out and we said that we see the market dropping. We had two distinct dates. I can't remember where it was, but we warned about this because we saw there's a rattle in the market. The market should have broken upwards here. What you see here is unnatural, should have never even been there. There's a point here, I can't remember, I think it's this point here where the market should have broken out. If it didn't break out here, the first one, the second one was that it should have broken out here. Impeachment hearing started. So for 90 days, we've been, actually somebody mentioned now 74 days, is that correct? 74 days or so, the market has been going sideways. So you can see the influence of the impeachment hearing. Now, if you want to see a disaster in the world, if you want to see a real stock market crash, you remove the president of the USA, you remove specifically Donald Trump, you impeach him and you remove him as president. You will see the world's largest stock market crash. It will make the 1931 stock market crash look small. You will see cryptos get annihilated. You'll see gold drop in value. You'll see silver become worthless. Guys, this is what we see in the data. Now, remember, this is not a political speech. Please don't send me nasty emails again, please. You know, I'm not for Trump. I'm not against him. I think he's doing good. I can't understand what the bloody impeachment hearing is about, you know? It's kind of like whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, come on, you must have common sense and you must understand that what they are trying to do is a fishing experience. We're trying to nail this guy for something, okay? I'm here to make money. I don't care about politicians because politicians are never for the people. Now, what we see is that Trump does not get impeached. Well, he may get impeached, but it doesn't go through. It doesn't follow through. He doesn't get removed from office. Now, what will happen is this dropped the market here as soon as it came out. And incidentally, you can actually go back and see whenever there's something disastrous happened, like the Schiff hearings, which was a total sham anyway, there, that whole process there dropped the market. The Horowitz report that is going to come out, which will reveal the shadow government in America. We all know they are real. We all thought it's a conspiracy theory. Up till Brennan, the CIA guy, came out and said, yes, it does exist. Now we know it's true. It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. And we all in the crypto world go, wow, it is true. This is how they manipulate cryptos, the markets. This is how they create wars around the world. Crazy stuff, guys. Crazy stuff. When that Horowitz report comes out, I believe that it could potentially be devastating for a lot of well-known people. And you're going to see the market move the other way upwards. When it's negative for the impeachment, the market drops. When it's positive for the impeachment not happening, the market will move upwards. Now you saw, let's just go back to Bitcoin. Look at this candle here. Remember this, as soon as the Schiff hearings, sorry, not Schiff, Nadler, as soon as Nadler started with the, I call them the three stooges that he had there, and the four law professors there, as soon as that started, what happened? The market spiked upwards because credibility has already been lost, guys. Come on, whether you're Democrat or Republican, we all know credibility has been lost because, you saw how biased these people are. The animosity, the hatred in their eyes. When they talk, you can see it. They just don't like this president. And this is what pushed the market upwards because people realized that it's a sham. And then as the testimonies went on, the market started dropping back again, where it becomes like positive for impeachment. Yeah, potentially we can impeach him. But now the market is not buying it as of today when all this media comes out. So expect the market to go upwards. One spike. Horowitz report, I believe, is going to be another big push up. You may have a rattle in the market first where the market will drop, but then eventually it's going to go up. And I believe from Monday, when the report comes out, up till about the 28th of this month, is that we are going to see a move upwards. I don't believe that we are just going to have a one-day spike because of the Horowitz report. Remember, it's going to be 1,300 pages, I think. Every day there's going to be new data being released. And that data will be crazy. It's going to drop Bitcoin, it's going to move Bitcoin. It's going to drop Bitcoin, it's going to move Bitcoin. This is why I say that I believe that we are going to have this one spike now. After that one spike, we could potentially have these three big spikes as data gets released. And then, regardless of what happens, we are going to have this drop. I don't know what causes this drop, but this drop literally goes like this. Something happens that just literally drops the market back to about 7,000 Bitcoin. But then remember, the market comes back up and it goes sideways, and we are going to break out for our 1,000% rise. And remember again, AJ, also, if I say 1,000% rise, I don't mean that the market in one day is going to move 1,000%. It's going to be a multi-month upwards trend. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I'm a little bit off topic here. No, with regard to Litecoin, let's just quickly go back here to the double chart. We expect now, let me just have a look here quickly. Just give me a second. Litecoin. This point here, sorry, I just want to see where we are now. Okay, we passed that point now. So see here, right at this point here, that's the low point for Litecoin. Litecoin started moving up here. I'm on the 30-minute and I'm on Bitfinex. This is exactly what we want to see. What you are going to see here next, and I'll quickly just draw it in as we see it. You could see a substantial move here, you know, something like this. I believe that we could have a drop somewhere here. And I'm just trying to identify the high points now with the target prices because I'm looking at my algorithm charter in an Excel spreadsheet. It's going to look something like this. Somewhere here is a big spike. Something like this. We then drop down. And forget about the date on the bottom here, this thing here. So I'm just pulling it out on the data, and then comes a big spike. Okay, that spike will just go astronomically upwards, and I believe this could happen 7, 8, 9. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, USA time. Okay, so 7, 8, 9. This is more or less what you look at. See that move there in Bitcoin? So this is, sorry, in Litecoin. This is not a time to try and sell the top and buy the low. You shouldn't do it. You should now be in the market and wait for this big spike. What happens here, let me just see if I can make this a little bit smaller. What happens here is that this spike simply just goes, it goes something like this, it comes back here, and it simply spikes upwards, somewhere around there. This is only the first little spike. So this is what you can expect, and this is what we see in our data. And now remember this, at this specific point in time, you can see that at this point, Bitcoin moved up 12% from this low point here. That low point there, Litecoin only moved up about, what is it now? It moved up a little bit more, about 5%. Ultimately, what I believe that could happen is that that Litecoin could slightly actually outperform Bitcoin. But whether you have money in Bitcoin, Litecoin, it doesn't really matter. You're still going to make profits. You can still increase your crypto holdings.
Can I ask another question?
Next question.
Alex wants to know regarding Digibyte. Is there a reason why Digibyte will move a lot higher than the other altcoins?
Yeah, one of the reasons why Digibyte will move up higher is because it's been suppressed for a number of years now. You look at about, I think, 32 months now. The price of Digibyte has been just suppressed. So what happens is it's like a coil. Digibyte is now coming to a point right down to the bottom. And at that point, it gets forced to break out upwards. And when all these coins start breaking out upwards, because of the suppression in the price of Digibyte, it's going to go up astronomical. Digibyte from memory is it 1 to 10,000 of Bitcoin? I can't remember now, 1 to 1,000. I can't remember now, but Digibyte should be a certain percentage. There is a video we did about it. The price of Digibyte is completely and utterly low. And you saw now that Polynex, I think, has removed Digibyte. And this is what we said. Remember 2 months ago, I said that don't be surprised if there are 3 exchanges that are going to remove Digibyte. Guess what, guys? I just want to say this quickly. Wall Street is buying Digibyte like you can't believe. I've heard that. That's one of the ones that I heard that they're buying. Digibyte will be one of the coins that move last, but expect about a 60% gain in Digibyte now. I don't believe it's going to make a 100% move. If you look at Digibyte here, remember this, we've said that Digibyte could make a 60% move. Our target here is this resistance line. But again, to find the high point for Digibyte, you look at where the high point of Litecoin is going to be, 107. Wherever Litecoin is at that point, that's the high point for Digibyte and XRP as well. Next question.
Scott has a question. When Litecoin goes to $100, what price range would you sell PPT at? $1 for farming? Question.
Okay, when now it's difficult to say where PPT will be because remember this, PPT has been going upwards. This is one of the coins. Remember I said not all the coins actually drop lower than the 24 September low point. You can see there's 24 September low. and PPT has just been going up like this. Now, I do expect the time when I would actually want to buy more more PPT is when these two lines cross over. And remember, we've always said that when the 3B algorithm, this orange line crosses above the 24B axis, that is a great buying opportunity. You are going to see there's going to be some sort of a move here in Digibyte, which will take it probably up with about, I think we calculated about 84% from this point yesterday. Let me just see where that is. Yeah, that's correct. Almost to about $1. So expect that to reach about $1. But to know where you sell your PPT, you simply look at Litecoin. When Litecoin goes to 100, 107, that's going to be the top. It's going to start turning down, and you're going to see that PPT and all cryptos will start turning down. So if you want to sell this when it starts moving up there, it's going to do the same move. It may not drop as far as what Litecoin and Bitcoin will drop. Remember this, every coin that has not dropped below the 24 September low point will not come back as low as as low as Litecoin or Bitcoin. Every single coin that did this went low and low again is going to drop lower. It's got to do with this mathematical equation here, that percentage there, which I don't want to get into now, but if you are able to work at the mathematical equation there, you can actually work out how low every single coin will go. But for the purposes of this, to make it easy for everybody, many people don't understand math, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you just simply look at where Litecoin is. And this is what I'm trying to do, to give everybody just a very good playing field. For the top of Litecoin, you look at where Litecoin is going to be. That's going to be the top for all coins. When Litecoin drops and is back on the bottom, that will be the bottom of all coins. And I'll get into that. We're already working on that.
Can we make a stop really quick?
Yeah.
We've got a very large chat group going on Carrot Bars. Can you see?
Yep.
Mike McMillan would like to take the camera for just a minute and show that he's received gold in his Federal Express package, because a lot of people would like to see it. Can we stop for that?
Yeah, guys, let's quickly go. Mike is one of our partners, and you know, look, I'm still big in KBC. You know, one thing that I said: fear, anxiety, and depression. Guys, Mike is making so much money in KBC. Why? Because he's got a positive attitude. You know, and so is many other people here. I don't want to mention all people's names here. But when fear, anxiety, and depression creeps in, you're going to lose. What's happening in KBC? KBC is just dropping downwards. But you are going to see that KBC is going to double in price again, double in price again. Mike, can I just give you, do you want to share your screen or?
Well, I can just do it here on camera. People will pick it up, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to stop my screen sharing, so we go to you, Mike.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Carrot Bars, you know, we're so early in this space, guys. I mean, you're not going to expect miracles overnight, but the platform they're rolling out, I just had a friend of mine who's an ex-commodities trader call me. He says, "Hey, I saw your video. I want to get involved." Okay. And just today, I got my cash gold that I got directly from Germany. And so here, I'm opening it up right now. And you can buy it with Bitcoin. You can buy it with credit card. You can start your business. But I've just turned fiat dollars into 1.5 grams of 24 karat gold. And what I do here in Missouri, okay, in the middle of the freaking US that are still pretty clueless about a lot of the cryptos, is I'll go in and I'll buy an item and I'll give them $100 bill and say, "Oh, I can't break that." Oh, okay, here. And I'll hand them one of these. And they'll go, "What's that?" I go, "What's 24 karat gold?" What? And they'll start asking questions. And you know, that's how I generate leads and stuff. But I've been getting a lot of private messages. And so I'm seeing right now in the United States, I know a guy in Arkansas who's got he just got his CEM machine. And for you guys who don't know, that's It's like a cash gold ATM machine that spits these out. Okay. So he just got his up and running today. So, I mean, people are, yeah, there's going to be bugs in the system, and, you know, they're going to have to work out some details and stuff, but I see big things for it, and in cryptos in general. You know, there's going to be some good projects, and there's going to be some bad projects. So, you know, I don't want to take up all your time, Marius, but, you know, I just wanted to show people that here in Missouri, I'm getting gold from Germany.
Okay, well, Mike, yeah, that's incredible.
Hi,
And
Marius.
Very nice.
Marius, sorry to butt in. It's TG. I just want to say, well done, Mike, that you've actually been posted Carat Gold's notes with the gold to the US from Germany, and I think that's really good news that they're doing it. You know, because it's not easy, is it?
Well,
It's
the
not
US
easy.
is so far behind, and like Mario said, the media, it's all propaganda. They don't want you to get ahead. They don't want you to know that the dollar's devaluing. Well, all currencies worldwide, and that's why Carat Bars is spread out.
No, they don't. But yeah, I think it's actually really good that you've actually got your notes with the little bits of gold in your hand.
Yeah.
And you can you've got a different form of payment to do, and in the end, the ATMs will be there, and you'll be able to exchange them for back to Bitcoin if you need it, or fiat, or whatever. You know, so yeah, no, that's I find that quite enjoyable after all the things that have gone on and all the rest of it. So yeah, thank you. That's really good news.
Well, I just wanted to share that. I got a lot of private messages. I thought, well, let's just take a moment and you know, and I'm here to answer the questions as best I can. But I don't want to take all Mario's time. I know you guys are here to talk about algorithms and whatnot. So
I was just pleased to see those in your hand. I really was.
Yeah, I'm glad to see gold in my hands too.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question if you don't mind. So this company sells like gold tokens?
Well, they have a token right now called KBC that is backed. They're backing it by gold.
Great. I was going to ask, is there an audit, like one coin is equivalent to like a gram of gold or something? Is there an audit system or no?
Is an audited system?
Yeah, like one coin is equivalent to like, let's say 1 gram of gold. Is that how it is over there? Because I think Paxos, like Paxos, a company in San Francisco, they do 1 coin equivalent to 1 ounce. DGX is doing 1 coin is equivalent to 1 gram. I was wondering about this company.
Yeah, 100 KBC, they back it by 1 gram of gold. So,
okay,
right, yeah. So if it's
and Mike, yeah, no, that's good, guys. Look, don't get negative about KBC. It's going to pay off at one point. You know, we constantly get these. These are your 1 gram. See those there, the 1 gram card coins, and that's 1 gram. And we constantly just get the same what you do, Mike. You know, we buy these things like crazy. You know, you or I do. You know, you use your money smart. You know, make money everywhere. Accumulate a little bit of you know, we can use 100 gram converted, 100 KBC converted to 1 gram of gold. Where have you ever seen, Mike, that kind of money that you can make? And you know,
they are incentivizing us to do this.
Exactly. Now, guys, remember this, what I said. Many people, they look at KBC wrong. They look at what is the price of KBC at the moment. They go like, oh my goodness, it's 4 cents or 2 cents. I don't know. And they constantly look at that. Forget about the dollar value. Look at how you can make money out of it. You can buy 100 KBC so cheap now, and you can convert it into 1 gram of gold. Whether you do it every day, doesn't matter. But anyway, that's enough about KBC. The other thing I just quickly want to say, don't invest your entire portfolio in KBC. Small amounts, you know, like you do with everything. Your majority of your money must be in the top 5 coins. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Digibyte, XRP, all the major coins that you like. Don't spread yourself too thin. TG, you wanted to say something there?
Yes, right, totally different. I've been looking, I don't know where, basically I would like to ask you or anyone else if they know about this particular, I think it's a stable coin. Don't quite understand how it works, but it's amazing how it spikes and the volatility, and it's actually been around for quite a while. And that is the Maker token. It's it seems the symbol is MKR on CoinMarketCap, and I believe it's got a stable coin pegged to it called DIA, DIA. I'd just like to know whether you know anything about it, Marius, because it did drop from $6,000 all the way down over time to where it's sitting at the minute, about $500, and every now and then it spikes up to $1,000. It's really interesting, and I think it's part of a stable coin.
Just mention that token again. The
MKR. It's called Maker.
MKR.
Yeah.
I think it's DAI, D-A-I.
Yeah, that's the stable token part of it, DIA, but I can't relate that properly to the Maker. But it's really interesting.
Yeah, I personally don't know much about that coin, but I don't know if anybody else is going to.
What I find interesting, Marius, is it spikes really high now and then. Really high.
Well, then trade it. You know,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I see there's nice volume there in the last
it's high. It's high up in the market cap. I think it's up in the close top 15 or something.
Yeah,
so
just make a note about that, guys. Look, what you can do is, and this is what I sometimes do. I just use 4,000 or 5,000, and I just buy these coins that keep spiking. There's like for example, in Bitfinex, you can see Digibyte. Digibyte spikes to 0.7 and then 0.6, then 0.8, 0.6. So what you do, you take $5,000, you buy in the low 0.6, and you go and put your sell order in at 0.7. It spikes up, and you just get this notification it's sold. Now you put an order in again for 0.6. So you keep on doing it every single day, and suddenly your 5,000 has doubled in value just by doing a little bit of work.
Yeah,
Yeah, but anyway, you guys can get that in chat rooms. Let's quickly finalize this presentation. Is there one or two more questions?
Marius.
Adam had a question on Coin, and it's on the list.
Yeah, is there anybody that want to talk about Engine Coin here? I haven't got Engine Coin up now. I believe. Let's have a look.
Engine had a nice pump. I think it was nice to see it pump.
Yeah, look, guys, Engine Coin. We've always said, go back in the beginning of the year and have a look at Engine Coin where it pumped. It will pump again. So it's a good investment, similar to that of VET. And I think 2 weeks ago we were talking about Engine Coin, and we said that that's a coin that you want to get into. It will pump. The same with VET. Now the same with Stratus. As a matter of fact, let me just see if I can get Strat. No, I don't think I've got it here, but anyway, Stratus, you can go and have a look at Strat. Strat will make the same move. It's going to do 100 to 200%. I'm a little bit more conservative. I want to play Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash. If you want to take a bit of risk, go to Engine Coin, go to other coins like Stratus. You can have a look at those. But if you want to be conservative, stick with your top 5 coins. Just quickly, let's get into silver. Now, this is the thing here, guys. If silver does not spike from now till when this next move happens, remember we said that we are expecting a move somewhere here that will take us to about $101. If this move doesn't happen now, at least with the third spike of Bitcoin, that's going to happen now. Then I don't see that move happening. The longer we go sideways, the less the spike happens. And that spike could happen here. It could still happen. There could still be a spike where we spike upwards and then come down. And next year, what's going to happen is that we are going to have the implementation of negative interest rates. There will be a visible superinflation. So don't be surprised that yes, somewhere in February, March, April, that we have a big bump in silver. But the more we're moving sideways here, the less I see the breakout into higher numbers. However, what you can see here in silver is this. You don't need to be too smart to see this. This is actually a really nice setup for a bull flag. This means that we are poised to have some sort of a breakout here. Now, normally what happens is if you take this flagpole there and you just take that and put it there, then at that point where it breaks out, then that tells me that we could potentially, let me just put a price label in here, could potentially go into here of about $21.90. It will most likely stay there. But this move is the move that I was thinking that could take us a little bit higher. Because if you look at this here from a bigger perspective, you look at that again, you know, also creating like a little bit of a wedge. And that wedge again, if you take that from here, from the bottom to there, and I'm just doing it quickly, you know, this is not technical analysis, just quickly. This should take us here to that level there. See there, 23. And then you get a bigger spike. Now you can go out and zoom out and you'll actually see it even larger when you look at the larger view of silver. Silver is very underpriced. It must go up. But in all honesty, you're going to make more money investing in cryptos.
Okay, is there a coin that stands out as making greater gains than the others during this spike number 2? XRP over Litecoin, question mark.
No, as a matter of fact, XRP, let's quickly get into XRP. I don't believe that XRP is not really, in my opinion, going to make a gigantic move more than Litecoin. I see XRP basically going up about 110% from where it is now. So we believe that year, remember, 28 December, high point. And I know, Christopher, last week you asked us where is, can we come back with dates? I don't know if you are here, Christopher, but just remember that we are moving back into a date cycle. Sorry, if it, the Vault, I don't know, the guys, just mute everybody. There's somebody just driving a vehicle there. But remember, the high point there is going to be about 28 December. We expect that to be the high point. It's going to break all these major indicators. It could even be that XRP struggles to break this last Python y-axis. That's a major indicator. And you can see we're on the day, and you can see these are not as narrowed as what they are in Litecoin or in Ethereum. But expect about maybe 110% gain again to find the high point for XRP when it moves. Simple. You look at where the high point for Litecoin is. Now, there's no other coin really that we see that could potentially make enormous gains. But I am going to show you this. VT is something that could potentially make about a 300% gain from the bottom here. And if you look at where it is now, it could potentially make another 69%. So if you invest, expect that top to be the top, 0.011. Remember, we recommended that a few weeks ago when we said we see a big move here. If you already made a big profit here, I can't remember when we recommended that, but what is that date there? 25 October. Yeah, I can't remember. It could have been perhaps here on that low point of 23 November. But anyway, it's still going to move up. You should make 166% gain. I'm not playing these coins because, again, what I say, I want to be safe. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't play it. You should, if you know what you're doing. Let's have a look here at Link. Link, remember, Link is in a broadening pattern. You can easily play Link. Wherever Link is now there on the bottom, it could go maybe slightly lower, you know, but eventually what's going to happen is we're going to see this 100% return here. Now, Link is a broadening pattern. It's going to go and do this, and then it's going to break out here. It's going to follow the same pattern what BNB is doing. Remember here, if you look at this segment here, I'm going to log into this area here now. I'm going to go and make it very small. Okay. Then I'm going to widen that and bring that out. Now, look at this now. Link is right there at the bottom, there. And it's now going to start moving up. It's going to follow this exact pattern of Binance. If you want to be very conservative and you only want to buy one coin and put all your money in there, you can literally just go and play Link. Here's your pattern. Link is going to follow that entire pattern of BNB for months and months and months. and you're going to make so much money in Link that you're going to come back and say, I wish I bought more Link. There's your pattern, guys. It's so easy. You've never ever had such easy data. It's going to follow that same thing. Now, with regard to BNB, if you want to buy BNB, BNB is now in a bigger broadening pattern, where that one is your first leg. Your second leg went down. What's going to happen is BNB is going to move up here to about $35. It's then going to drop backwards here, and then BNB is going to take off, and it's going to give us a 700% rise in price. So if you want to hold BNB, this is why I hold BNB. There's big things happening with BNB. Just go and read up about it. Remember, we said here, we've always said we're going to have a 500% return, but because it dropped slightly, that's why we now have a little bit more. I should actually update that and just make this a 700% return. And the reason is because of this drop. We dropped 200%. Not really 200%, but we dropped slightly, and that pushes that up more. Let's have a look at another one. OMG is just something that I'm going to get rid of in the future. As soon as we head into the $3.7 mark, somewhere around there, that's where I'm going to sell. Don't be surprised if OMG just literally barges upwards big time. It could make this big move here. It could come down and go further. But I'm getting a little bit red on OMG, and I am going to get rid of that, rather move that money into something else. Let's have a look at ZRX, is the other one that's pretty good. This one here is pretty much complete here with the ABC correction. That is the low point here. Same as last week, we identified the ABC correction. This is your leg 1, a drop. This is your leg 2. Now look at this, from where we are now with OX, from that point there, if you take this upwards here, that's about a 94% gain here. Expect a bit of a drop here. All coins will drop, and then it's going to head up to probably that. So if you still hold OX, that's good. It won't necessarily outperform Bitcoin, in my opinion, or Litecoin. Yeah, Wendy?
Can you go over Chainlink? Lots of people
Yeah.
want Chainlink.
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 Is that Link? Yeah, it's Link.
Yeah, Link.
Yeah, we just gone through it.
Okay.
Just did it. Okay, but just quickly, BAT. BAT is the other one, guys, that I'm probably going to start buying this weekend, today. I'm expecting BAT to do about a 300% gain. Just look at this, you know. This was your low point here, leg 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This drop is actually going to be a little bit lower. It could even drop fairly substantial. But OX, don't disregard OX. The other one you can look at is RDD2. I haven't got RDD here. And then EOS is the other one that is only going to make this 113% gain. Have a look at 5.9, $6. That's going to be the top of EOS. You must sell. Again, what's happening with EOS? Look at this. This is a big, big broadening wedge, similar to that of BNB. Okay. Now, this one eventually is going to do exactly what BNB is doing. It's following more or less the same pattern, and then that pattern is almost the same as Link. Just to come back to Chainlink. Okay, so let me just get that here, the brush. So up, down, up, hitting that red line there, down, and then it's going to take off. It's going to take off. Let me just show you here. This is, I'm really excited about EOS. Our algorithm data on this thing is also really excellent. I think we see EOS at about 3,600%. That's going to be the high point. There you go. And 128 EOS. He's got a question on what? Okay, yeah, Ali, let's go back to you.
Oh, yes. Hey, Marius. Can you kindly tell us what's going to happen with Litecoin starting this second to Sunday? I just want to please give me a detailed on it because that's what I'm focusing. That's all I'm focusing on right now, from the spike to the drop, and some targets. Please.
Yeah, Ali, we've just done that. I don't know, you may have missed it, but we drew that black line, and we say that we expect Litecoin to go like this. It's now going to go upwards to that point there. And remember, I'm on 30 minutes here now. That's the only way that I can do it. In real terms, I will just draw a straight line up. Okay.
So what's the maximum chart is what I'm trying to, the maximum target and the day to sell? Because
what we said earlier is you shouldn't really play this now at the moment. You shouldn't try and buy, let's say sell there at 49 and come back and buy at 46. You know, it's too small of a margin, and the risk here is that this thing can break out at any time. So you shouldn't really at this point in time try to play it, but it's up to you. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it. None of our people in our office would do it. We are now in the market. We're not trying to buy and sell anymore, because what happens here is that we believe that Litecoin is going to go up here. It's going to come down. It's going to go to a high point here, maybe 48, similar to this high point here. It's going to drop backwards. When you see that drop back, then that's going to be your breakout. And then it breaks out. Let's just go back to the overview. Where was that? I think it was this one. I'm on the day chart here. Now, this one here, no, it wasn't that one. Where was the, here we go. See this line here, what we said, you may have missed that, but that's $61. If you go back to the left-hand side, that is your 15 October high point. That's going to be the first major resistance for Litecoin. Okay, that is where you probably can maybe sell and buy back on the low. But I do expect a mini jump, like just a little jump. I want to see a visible upwards move, just a little bit of a jump, higher than maybe that 0.5 there, higher than 50 or close to 50. When that is a visible jump, then we're going to see 3 jumps over a period of about 5 to 21 days, most likely 21 days.
So so for today till to Sunday, into Sunday, is there going to be like, let's say, catapults 1, or no, it's just going to be a pump and dump and we're going to go down and then catapult 1 happens?
Yeah, let me quickly explain the, okay, I'm on 4 hours here. Okay, that's Bitcoin. Okay, here we go. Remember this one. I'm just deleting this. This year was Catapult 1. Remember, there it is. Catapult 2 is big in that green box. That's Catapult 2. We believe that it's going to happen like this, and I'll show you what we see from now till Sunday. What I would like to see, I would like to see a bit of a jump here. That's kind of what it should look like. Now, let's move this to 28 December being the high point, okay? So if you look at from the bottom here, I'm looking at the 28th of December as the high point. So now what I would want to see, let me just make that a little bit wider. I want to see a blurb today or tomorrow, somewhere around there. Maybe 49, maybe just touching 50. And the next move up is going to be, from memory, the next major move, I think, goes to about 60. Then it goes to 80. And remember, it's identified in the chart. And then you have that big move upwards, 100, 107. Now, have a look here. If you look at the blog post, you'll see this in the blog post too. Remember, this is your target, 52 first, 60 is that major resistance line. The 3 targets are 80, 90, 100, more or less, you know, distinct price moves. I don't know exactly how high these moves will go, but you will be able to see, you'll literally be able to see it. Once we have the first spike, you're going to have 3 big spikes. And we'll send data out and show where we are as we progress.
And what's the, should we expect a drop that is like, let's say, lower than 44? Or no, we're pretty solid here, like for now, for the next few days, of course, till Monday or something.
Yeah, what I've learned with cryptos is never say never. Okay, so in the last report, what I said is expect that to go as low as, I think we said it can even drop down to 39.
Yeah, I agree. But
Yeah.
for that, no, I'm talking about just short term with the week. That's it. Just those few days. That's it. I'm not talking about what happens afterwards.
Yeah, if we drop, let's say, to 39, it will literally be, in my opinion, a big drop down, and it will come back so quick, like literally in an hour. So expect that. That can always happen, because remember, Wall Street, they're evil. They will drop the market to buy the orders. They will do that, and we have to be aware of that. But AJ, what we see, what I see in my data, without manipulation now, if there's no manipulation, the market will gradually go up. We'll have a high point there, it then drops, goes sideways a little bit, and then we have a nice big spike. Okay, so
maximum target is it gonna go over 48, 49?
I believe around about the first upwards trend here is about 49.50, somewhere around there. Your second move upwards is that 15 October 2018 high point. We're going to break that. And I don't know exactly where that was. Let me just go back here. This red line here is 61.8. So if I go back and just put this in 60, about there. Okay, so there is the 15 October high point. We break the $50 mark here, somewhere around there, it drops back. Then we break that. It may not break it as big, but it may break it and then come back, retest it, hover around, and then break through it. So that is short term what I'm expecting.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And remember this, guys. I'm not a day trader. We don't deal on 30-minute or an hour or two. You know, you can be wrong so quick with these kind of things. I'm more this guy. I want to buy you on the bottom. I want to sell on the top there. So AJ, if I give you this direction, you know, don't email me back and say, "Oh, you were wrong." You know, nobody can actually tell you. Nobody can clearly tell you exactly where this will go. All I'm doing is I'm just working off my Excel spreadsheet where the high points are, and I'm trying to extrapolate to give you a visual idea of what should happen. Okay.
Hey, Marius, I'm just wondering about DGB. Poloniex apparently has about 600 million DGB, and with them delisting it, do you think there's a chance that that they would do that, or that it would affect price significantly?
I think, haven't they already delisted it?
I think they have, but I don't know that they've sold 600 million DGB yet.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to influence the market too much. You can see that we had a bit of a drop here, and we were watching that. You know, at this point here, somewhere in October, see that big drop here. This was when 3 exchanges came out. I heard it from one of the executive managers at Bitfinex. He told me that 3 exchanges are going to drop DigiByte. So the one has come out. There's going to be 2 other exchanges too. Maybe just going forward, they're going to do it. But this is when the news literally came out, and that literally dropped DigiByte a little bit. And now you can see that dropped it as well. But eventually what's going to happen with DigiByte is that DigiByte is going to go upwards a lot. This is one of the reasons that we said DigiByte is going to break out last. DigiByte will be like the coin that surprises everybody. It's going to go up in my data, what I see, 43,000%. Mark my words. I do believe. Now, I have bought DigiByte. I know it's the wrong time to buy it, but I'm still holding it because I'm.
So would you say it's just like a hold then? We'll hold for now?
Yes. I would probably say that DigiByte, if it's not a too big part of your portfolio, then hold it. In my case, DigiByte makes up about 14%, I think, of my entire portfolio, and I don't mind about it. I am going to hold it.
Okay. Thank you.
You know,
Hey,
but if Digibyte, guys, this is very crucial. If Digibyte is 70, 80% of your portfolio, you must move that into something else, because Digibyte is not going to give you the massive returns like what everybody is thinking. Not yet. Now, keep in mind, in my case, and I'm saying it again, I like to play the odds. Sometimes we think a coin will not spike and then it spikes. Okay, because remember this now. We've come right down here to the bottom here. This kind of looks to me like a very nice falling wedge, especially if this comes, well, it's not really falling wedge, but it just looks like a big, nice return where the market could potentially just simply do that, come down a little bit here and spikes out. Okay,
Hey,
and that
Marius.
also is your major trend reversal sign. Yes, go ahead.
It's Keith. Hey, as far as that delisting on Poloniex, that is nothing except an internal fight between Tron and DGB, and it had nothing to do with fundamentals. It was just an internal fight, and it actually started on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. And that is true. What are you saying there? It's just internal. It's got nothing to do with Digibyte. But now the market's perception, how does the market see it? Most people see it as, oh, Digibyte is going to go crazy and it's going to drop and we shouldn't invest in it. Guys, guess what? I don't want to mention the name of this company, but there's a company that endorses us really big time. This specific company, and I got under a lot of fire with Digibyte for posting it out, and they wanted information that these people are buying it. And nobody's going to give you information if there are big investors that they are buying Digibyte. Why would they do it? Because they want to keep the price as low as possible to accumulate as much as they can over a period of time. And I don't want to mention the name of the company too, but they fully endorses us as well. They're on our website. They are buying.
Question in here.
They are buying Digibyte like crazy every single day.
The opposite sort of happened today after the announcement. It actually hit Tron harder than Digibyte because people were very pissed that Poloniex did this, and they're involved with Tron. Tron is very, very, it's all owned by Sun. And Sun did this out of spite against the guy that started DGB. And so it actually affected Tron more because a lot of people were very upset that they did this for no reason whatsoever except an internal fight.
Exactly. Look, guys, let me finish with this presentation here now. We've been going about almost an hour now. I'm just going to finish the presentation and then we're just going to finish the presentation and we'll come back and answer questions. Those people who want to leave, feel free to leave. Thank you very much for being online. Let me just stop the recording here, guys. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. If you're watching this recording, we will carry on with questions here.